A lot of talent on this roster. What is really wrong with this team?
What's wrong with this team is the coaching, and we have to say that. And I take no pleasure in saying that because I've always been a fan of Billy Donovan. He's a two-time national champion at the University of Florida. He's guided this team to within one game of an NBA Finals berth when Kevin Durant was there a couple of years ago. But something's missing, and this ain't college. This is the pros. Max Kellerman, I'm watching this game the other night, and I'm watching Carmelo Anthony at the free throw line. I'm watching Billy Donovan send somebody in the game to sub for him, and Melo waves him off. I got it. I'm not coming out. I'm staying in. Well, excuse me, who's the coach and who's running the show? I'm not saying Melo was wrong for doing that. I'm saying those are the kind of things that are happening. You're calling plays. It doesn't look like the NBA plays, for crying out loud. We're seeing too much hero ball. And more importantly, Paul George is not nearly the focal point that he needs to be because he's arguably the most efficient of the big three. Of course, I got to give some culpability to Carmelo Anthony. He's older. He is slower. Even though he can get his own shot against anybody and he could be a scoring machine on any particular night, the fact of the matter is that he needs to hold the ball and do what he does in order to get it off because just scoring within the flow and fluidity of the offense ain't necessarily his strength. And now you've got a situation where even though last year Russell Westbrook had no help, at this point they were 12-8, not 8-12. So you're 4 games worse. Okay, your defense is suspect. You can't guard anybody. You can't defend the pick and roll. Plays are not being called. Hero ball is being allowed to take place. And it speaks to me what's glaringly lacking: a strong, forceful NBA voice on the coaching sideline that reels these guys in, because that's what it's going to take. The way they look right now, it's bad.
Hard to imagine a team with Russell Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony would resort to hero ball. Who could have seen that coming? Here's the real issue. I think it goes way above the coach. I think it goes above the GM. It's the owner. Clay Bennett, who's a villain in Seattle, right, steals the franchise away, brings it to a smaller, less relevant market, a less important place in professional sports.
Great home court advantage, though.
Still, it's not Seattle in terms of the resources of your market.
Yeah, it's true.
And he's cheap. He's cheap. So James Harden leaves because the owner is cheap. You have what should have been the greatest nucleus in the history of maybe American team sports. Kevin Durant, MVP. James Harden, MVP caliber. Russell Westbrook, MVP caliber. Serge Ibaka, perennially, back then, one of the best defenders in the league and an all-star caliber player, all around the same age, and you get to one finals and get your break speed off? Are you kidding? And then you let Harden go away. The owner is cheap. How does that affect what we're seeing now? Because, Stephen A., they put together listen, talk about the GM. You have a great GM in OKC. There's no question about it. The job that he's been able to do is amazing, and his name is escaping me, Stephen. Sam Presti. I'm thinking of Hinkie all the time.
It's okay.
Sam Presti is a great GM.
I don't know why you would put Presti and Hinkie in the same sentence.
Presti has much more accomplished.
Right.
Hinkie's work is being seen now. But anyway, Presti is a great GM, so he gets the best available pieces, but they're misfit pieces. A singular talent, ball-dominant point guard, an ISO-scoring, ball-dominant, aging forward, and an excellent two-way player who may be a one-and-done situation where you are a mercenary, maybe. So those things take time to come together. We're seeing a transitional period of guys learning to play together who don't fit particularly well right now.
Well, you could say
cheap owner.